everyone, and welcome back to our Amazon Bedrock series. Over the first few episodes, you have taken an exciting journey through the world of Amazon Bedrock. Raji has been guiding us through the ins and outs of Amazon Bedrock, helping us unlock the power of AI. So we kicked off things in episode 1 by an introduction to Gen AI. We learned how to get started with large language models and even got hands-on with the Streamlit demo. From there, in episode 2, we moved on to vector embeddings and integrating a knowledge base in Amazon Bedrock. And then the last episode, which was episode 3, we explored how to build and optimize AI agents within Bedrock. So now we are wrapping up this amazing series, and we'll be turning to an essential topic, which is guardrails. So this will be our final episode of the Bedrock series, and Raji will show us how to implement guardrails in Bedrock just to ensure our AI models not only perform well, but also adhere to ethical standards, privacy guidelines, and also user safety. So if this is your first video of this series, feel free to check out all our previous episodes. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Yay, let's get started. Over to you, Raji.
Thank you, Pauline. It's always been a pleasure to talk in your YouTube channel. And today, I just hope this is not our final video series. There are a lot of things that we should do. But in Bedrock, today we'll be talking on guardrails. So it's a very important topic, especially because when you leverage GenAI, there is a lot of freedom that we get, but along with it, there is quite a number of risk and security which needs to be taken care. And how do we do that is with a feature that Bedrock itself gives called guardrails, and that's what we are going to focus today. Guardrails help you to control what can go to the LLM, and you can also control the response. You can also dictate how and what the content should look like when you get the data back from LLM. So they are essentially a security guard, and they also help you to not only block certain elements, but they also help you to control and tune the kind of prompts and the response. And today we are going to see how you can use this. So guardrails is one feature from Amazon Bedrock. And the one that you're seeing is an AWS slide, which is widely used. This captures the features or the essence of guardrails. So you can use guardrails for when you call a foundation model. If you are creating an agent, you can apply guardrails. If you are creating a knowledge base, even then you can apply guardrails. So guardrails are they're quite modularized. So the way Amazon has architected guardrails is a separate entity altogether, and you can cross-utilize guardrails as and when you like. So they are not tightly coupled with a certain agent or a knowledge base. You can create a guardrail and then use it for when you call a LLM, or when you use an agent, or when you use a knowledge base. So it is a horizontal kind of a component, and they are loosely coupled. So that way it gives us a lot of flexibility. So what it can do is, now because of Gen AI, the response is generated, right? And there is a wide scope, wide spectrum where users can ask any kind of questions, which is nothing but the prompts. And it's very important to control what a user can ask. Similarly, from the other side, since it is a generated content, we also need to ensure that the content is following certain norms. And every one of us, every enterprise has their own organizational policies. So it's important for us to ensure that the response that it generates, it's not deviating from the do's and don'ts of what an organization has or they have defined as a policy. So you can filter out content. You can filter out the kind of content which you feel is not allowed. You can also control and decide what kind of questions can be asked from the user. And you can also decide how a certain business information. So for example, if there is a PII data which is getting exchanged between the user and the LLM, you can define how this information has to be exchanged, whether it should be blocked or it should be anonymized. So for example, if there is an address which is getting exchanged, you may want to anonymize it. Or if there is a first name or a credit card number getting exchanged between the user and the LLM, you might want to block it. So, so these are the various controls that you can apply using Guardrail. So this slide, again an AWS slide, this captures the components, what makes a guardrail. So there are four key components that comprises of a guardrail. So first is denied topics. So here you can define what kind of questions can be asked or what kind of questions should be blocked. And this operates on natural language processing. So if there is any topic which is similar to what you have configured as a denied topic, that also will be blocked. So you will have the ability to give a sample question, and Guardrail will use NLP. And if there are any similar or semantically similar questions being asked by the user, it will take the action. Next is content filter. So here you can control the tone. So if there are topics around hate, or if there are any violent topic, if there are any sexual topics being discussed, then you can control the tone, whether you want it low, medium, or high. Then is PI redaction is the sensitive topic. So you can also define your own PII data. So what is sensitive is quite subjective, right? So it differs from organization to organization. So a healthcare enterprise might have some data, say any metadata of an EHR system or of a patient for that matter, they might consider it as sensitive. Or a manufacturing enterprise might have things like the number which is imprinted on any of their tool as sensitive. So you can also define your own PII data. So Guardrail also gives a facility where it follows a regular expression, and using that you can define what is PII for you. The lastly is word filters. So if you have any word or phrase which you want to literally block, for example, if there is a healthcare customer and they want to block certain words which contain their internal IP product names or even their company names, you can define literally what word or phrase has to be blocked. So when I say phrase, it should be maximum 2 or 3 words together, and Guardrail will block that. And this blocking is done at two sides. It is also done when a user sends data to LLM and also when they receive back the response. So that's how, that is the concept behind Guardrail. Yeah, so now we go to the demo. That's all I have as slides. So let's do a demo on Guardrails. So this is the Bedrock console. Now on the left under safeguards, you can see something called guardrails. So you click here and then you click this button, create guardrail. All right. So now we'll give a name to the guardrail. You can configure what kind of message you want to display when there is something which is blocked by the guardrail. So I'm just giving a message, your organization does not allow such queries. So you can type anything. So you can say whether when this should be applied. So I'm saying I'm keeping it the default one, apply the same blocked message for responses. Then here you can do a content filtering. So you can enable and control the harmful user inputs and the response. So when you enable harmful categories, so what will happen is this will define the tone. So if you want to completely allow hate kind of a response, so you can just make it none, or if you want to keep it low, you can keep it low. It similarly insults, sexual violence, misconduct. So they all are configurable. So it easily allows you to define and control the kind of language that will be exchanged between the user and the LLM. And there is something called prompt attack. So here, if there is any attempt which is being made by the user, so sometimes the user might ask questions in a way that would try to dig out any any inside information or an internal information of the LLM. So that will be a potential cybersecurity attack. So it's always good to enable a prompt attack and keep it at high. So that was our, on content filter. So next is the topics. So let's assume that I'm creating a guardrail for say a retail customer. So there is a customer service chatbot for a grocery store, and I want the users not to ask certain kind of questions. So I use this add denied topic. So I just give a name. So I don't want users to discuss on elections. So when you allow users to deviate from the desired topic, then they might end up asking anything which are totally irrelevant for the purpose. So it's always good to add certain questions as denied topics. So I just give a name saying elections, and here I would say give some sample phrases. So the guardrail will be able to understand. So it will use NLP and it will be able to understand if there are any prompts which are similar sounding prompts, it will block it. Who do you think will win the 2024 elections? Um, so you can add some phrases and put some definition. So you can keep on adding the kind of topics, right? So then we move on to word filters. So here you can also maintain a list of words which you want the guardrail to block. So these words can also come from a file, or they can also come from S3 object, or you can define it in the console itself. So if I give words like, since it is retail, I don't want questions related to prompts which have the word, say, narcotics. Or I don't want any word which has, say, cocaine. Right? So just giving some examples. So these words will be blocked. Now comes the sensitive information. So here you can, there are certain default PII types which are already configured. So there are 31 PII types. You can just say all, and all 31, like name, phone, email, age, password, driver ID, all of these will be added automatically. And here you can define how the guardrail should behave. Like, should it block it or should it mask it? Right. So you can define all of these here. And here, this is where I was saying you can also use regular expressions, and you can give for any organization which is subjective. Like, if you have any internal metadata which you feel is sensitive and you don't want the guardrail to allow, then you can also define a regular expression and choose the behavior. All right, that was the configuration of the guardrails. And once you configure, you create the guardrail. So once you create the guardrail, you will get a unique ID. And you can also decide if you want to encrypt the data which is being exchanged using KMS. So you can enable that if you want. And now the guardrail will be created as a draft. So once you are done with testing the draft version, once you are sure that all the parameters are working after you test the guardrail, you can create a version for the guardrail. Now, testing the guardrail is very easy in Bedrock. All you need to do is you can select a model, and then you can test how these guardrails are working. Now, testing the guardrail is very easy in Bedrock, or you can select a model and you can give the prompts and you can see how it is behaving. So for example, let me choose an Amazon model. So if you remember, I had configured narcotics as a word which has to be blocked, right? So I type a prompt which has narcotics in it. And I say run. So here you can see that it has given the response which I configured as a response while creating the guardrail. And here you can also see that the guardrail was intervened. So which means that the guardrail was brought into action at two instances. So if you go to view trace, you will be able to see when the guardrail was used and which particular configuration of the guardrail was used. So here we had also configured the content filter. Now the word narcotics is also a misconduct. So the content filter was brought into action, and word filters also had narcotics in it. So two of the configurations or two categories of guardrail was activated in this prompt. So there are two instances in which this was used, and this is the model response. Okay, so when the model gave back the response, there was nothing which had any of these categories because it didn't even reach the LLM. Guardrail had blocked it even before that. So obviously the response did not have anything. Now let's give a prompt which is safe, right? So where we feel that it is not violating any of the guardrail. So I just give a very normal. I want to buy some strawberries. So when you say run, you can see here the guardrail was not brought into action because be it the prompt nor the response, none of the categories were applicable. So it reached the LLM and there was a response. So the response says, I'm not able to help you with that. I can help you find information about strawberries or I can help you shop. So the response also had nothing. Okay. So that was on the guardrail. So let's see some other content. We also blocked some sensitive information, right? So let me give a prompt saying my name is Pauline. Let's see what it says. So here you can see we had configured sensitive information and we added all 31 PII types in which name was also there and which was blocked. So here the guardrail is saying it intervened at one instance. So if you see in the trace, you can see that sensitive information was blocked.
Let's see another example of how a sensitive information is handled. I'm going to give a prompt where it asks the LLM to do a call summarization. So this is a fictitious data, and in our guardrail, we configured to mask certain sensitive information like name, contact number, and so on. So let's see how it's giving a response. This is the final response. So if you see here, it has masked the name, it has masked the username, it has masked the phone, right? So in the response, wherever it's seeing the sensitive information that we defined, it has masked. And you can see in the trace that in the model response, it has done the masking, phone, username, and so on. So this is how you can use the sensitive information category.
Once your testing is done, then you can create a version for your guardrail. So you go to your guardrail and create a version. You can give a description. So once you have the version ready, you can start using it across. Now, how do you use it across is, say, for example, I have a knowledge base. Okay. So I have few knowledge bases already. I have something called a retail store knowledge base. Then I also have some knowledge base on AWS content. So when I'm querying the knowledge base, I can also use this guardrail. So here, when I do the testing of knowledge base, here I get an option where I can select the guardrail, right? So I can select the guardrail here, and I can also select what version of the guardrail has to be used. So as you can see, I gave a phrase which was configured as not allowed in the guardrail, and it's blocking. Right, so I can create the guardrail and use it across agents and knowledge base. Okay, so that was about guardrails. Now here also in the agents, so if you have any agents already created, so this is Maya agent, which you remember we created in the last one of the last video series. So when I test the agent, I can use a guardrail. So even when I'm configuring the agent, so edit in agent builder, here I can configure the agent such that this guardrail is attached. So I can attach this guardrail. I can choose which version. So I have attached this guardrail with the agent. Now every time this agent is being invoked, I will be also calling the guardrail behind the C.
Hi Raji, I have a quick question. Can we add guardrails programmatically?
Yes, of course you can. So you can use the Boto3 library, and
Okay.
if you refer the Boto3 SDK, there are methods where when you call a knowledge base, you usually use retrieve and generated API. Now in that API, you can pass the ID of the guardrail as a parameter. When
Okay.
you use invoke model method, there also you can pass guardrail as a parameter. So now guardrail is an optional parameter in invoke model, but where you can give the version and the ID, unique ID of the guardrail. So that's how you can use it programmatically. I'll also bring up a demo on how it can be used.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Let's see how you can use guardrails using Go-to-3 library. Now for that, you can refer the AWS documentation and agents for Bedrock runtime. That class has a method called retrieve and generate. All right, so I can show you. So these are the various methods available in Bedrock agent runtime. Now, typically when you want to search a knowledge base, you can use the retrieve and generate method. Now, in this method, there is an optional parameter for guardrail, and you give the unique ID here and the version here. Now, I have a Lambda function where I am querying a knowledge base, but now I have not used a guardrail. Right, so I have called the retrieve and generate method and passing the input here, and then I'm saying that the type is knowledge base, and I'm giving the knowledge base metadata information. So let's see. Okay, and I'm going to test this lambda, and the prompt that I have given is who will win 2024 elections. So it says the search results do not contain any information about who will win the elections, as the election has not occurred yet. So this is a typical response that you will see from any model. Now, my guardrail does not allow. So, if you remember, I had configured a topic as a denied topic. Any questions related to elections, it was one of the denied topic in the guardrail. Right. So now I can use the guardrail here, and let's see how the behavior changes. I have given the code in my GitHub repo. I'll share this link in the comment section of this video. So guardrail details have to be created, have to be given as part of the generation configuration. So there is a parameter called generation configuration. where you can give the guardrail information. So this is the ID of my guardrail, and yeah, I'm just ensuring all the parentheses are fine. Okay, let me deploy this function. And for this prompt, for the same prompt, you can see that it's given the customized message which we used to get in the console. So this is one way of using Boto 3 and using Guardrail. Similarly, there are agents as well. So when you configure an agent, if you had attached a guardrail, which we saw in this video, you can also, when you say invoke agent, the guardrail will be automatically called. So if you go here for agents, so this is the agents for Bedrock class. Here you would see all the methods. For invoking an agent, you should go to agents for Bedrock runtime, and you can go to invoke underscore agent. So in the invoke underscore agent method, anytime whenever you're calling the agent, if you have already attached the guardrail, it would automatically call it. So that was about agent. Bedrock runtime class. So when you should use the Bedrock runtime class for invoking a model, and in invoke underscore model, you it's very simple here. At runtime, you pass the ID of the guardrail and the version. So that's how you programmatically use guardrails.
So
Okay.
that's all the time for guardrails, and it was great as usual talking. Over to you, Paula.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Raji. It was a nice session. I think a little bit shorter compared to our previous episodes or so, but yeah, I love this session. I love to see how we optimize stuff, especially the protection of PII information. I think it's really cool because I know a lot of us are always wondering what happens when you accidentally put wrong information or personal information in some of this stuff. I have had a similar experience before with with an agent I'm not going to mention, where I think I put some information before, and then maybe a week later I query something, and then it's like, hi Pauline, and I was scared for a moment. How do you know my name? Yeah, and stuff. Okay, interesting. Thank you so much for the viewers. I hope you learned. Yeah, please feel free to watch our previous episodes, and we hope this is not the last time we're seeing Raji around. So we'll come up with new stuff. There is always something to learn.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Raji.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Bye. See you in the next one, which we'll figure out.